Okay, welcome back to Mark's Graph Paper Method with another graph lesson for you today on how to never have to ever play a modal scale again. So, of course, I'm not telling you to never play a mode again. As a matter of fact, I'm teaching you how to play the modes because the modes are your key to expression through the major scale. Major scale makes up 90% of your, I don't know how much it makes up, but it makes up a ton of modern music, and your ability to separate this thing up into modes and play in it is vital to you being expressive on the guitar, because modes, as I've said before, modes are moods. 7 moods, one for each of the 7 notes of the major scale. So, how to make your entire guitar a modal instrument. Number 1, stop trying to play modes in scales, number 1. Number 2, stop even trying to play modes altogether. Stop trying to think that you're the modal soloist. You are not playing a mode when you solo. So before I draw out how to map it out on your guitar, I'd like you to understand a key vital point here. And to do this, you're going to hear, while you're staring at this blank graph paper, I know, very boring video, and I should have the ability to get my microphone on the keyboard, but I don't have that capability right now, so I'm making the video like this. And let's hear really quick the modes in the way that the modes come from root notes. Your brain checks out music by tonal centers, meaning usually the lowest note in the key, it could be a high note ringing out like a pedal tone, or a low note usually is how it works. And the bassist, and you can do it on your guitar by doing it as a total soloist. You can still evoke modes by like playing a low note. Here we'll use the low E. Right? But now I want to play a different mode, but I'm going to use the same notes, and I want to sound happy now using all those same 7 tones. Not even thinking modally, just thinking about the melody I'm making. And to do that, I'm going to hold a low G note, because a G is a major scale, and that'll sound different on this low E. And so let me let you hear what we mean here. Here's the G. If that seemed to be a little bit more expressive, a little kind of cooler sounding, something was there about it, there was some music in there, well, that's because your brain picked up that I didn't just play in a regular major scale. I had a little different note in there. All it took was one note changed, and your mind said, hey man, that sounds cool, and it probably even knew somewhere deep in there that was mixolydian. I played a G while I played all the notes of the D major scale. Or I'm sorry, of the C major scale. I played all the white notes on the keyboard, except on the guitar. And not to confuse you, but I even just used a simple place on the guitar fretboard known as, that my guitar teacher taught me as the Dorian Pattern, right? Those don't matter at all. They're parts of a major scale. All you need to do is play the major scale while one of the notes of the major scale is ringing out, and whatever number of the scale, of whatever 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 note is ringing out, is the corresponding mode. 1, write this down, 1 Ionian, 2 Dorian, 3 Phrygian, 4 Lydian, 5 Mixolydian, 6 Aeolian, 7 Locrian. There's a lot more information. Those will be in other videos. Let's get to the point of how to make your guitar a full modal instrument and not just work on scales. And let me give you one final reference point. Here on the keyboard, once again, a E for Phrygian and then G for Mixolydian, just to get a real deep sound in minor and a real deep sound in major here, so you can really hear the difference. As you can hear, I'm not a great keyboard player, but I used some rhythmic elements and just noodled around the notes until I stumbled back to the E that corresponded with the low E I was playing, and I gave it kind of its own little sound there, and it might not sound that striking to you, but let's hear the difference. I'm playing all the same white keys here, so check this out. There's your first mode that you just heard. Here's the change. When I got to the G note, I ended it. And cool, right? Two different sounds. All that just happened to your ears because I played two different low keys, and I didn't do anything different with the notes that I played in the solo. So the soloist just needs to know a major scale and where to place the major scale for each and every mode. In this particular example today, I'm going to show you how to mount your Lydian, mount your major scale on Lydian and roll. So in today's example, let's pretend that our lowest note is a G. We're going to play a G Lydian, and we want to know how the hell to do that. So all across the fretboard, by the way, we're going to learn this all at once. And here we go. We're going to use the same old graph paper scale that you should have been taught how to make. Watch some other videos, right? And how many notes of the scale do we represent right here? 1, 2, 3, 4. How many are left from 7? 3. So we only need to know 3 more notes, and we've got the entire Mixolydian bass shape down, and that's the repeating shape all across the fretboard. You learn to line this up all over the place, and you can play across the entire fretboard in Lydian. What you have to do, excuse me, is take this G, or take this this box here, which we're gonna call the Lydian box, and the cool thing is this doesn't change. This is static. You can use your own time to figure out why that is. Play around with the graph paper method enough, and it'll come clear. This will never change. This box will always be your Lydian box. If you put the major scale, which is this pattern here of 4 notes and 2 on each side, we only need 3 other notes, but if we put 2 on each side here like this, we're going to get 4 notes. Well, that means 1 repeats, and that is this note right here. It repeats right here. And this will be interval, interval, same interval, 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 interval. So it basically would be do, re, mi, fa, so. No, I'm sorry. Do, re, mi, fa, so, la, ti, do. Okay? So, here's your basic shape. And we can start building the same shape by connecting a box here and connecting a box here. But I'm also going to tell you this. I didn't let you know, but if I was to need to play any mode from, let's say, F to G, I would mount this box right here, 4 notes. I would mount this L on the 3rd string of the guitar, the D string. Let's take a look right here. Here's your D string, and here's a neat thing about the D string on your guitar. See those 4 dots? Now maybe you know why those 4 dots are right there, right down the middle, right where that D string is, right? Because that's F gab. The 4 of the major scale pattern on the keyboard, the 3 keys, then the 4 keys. That's your 4 key pattern right there. Think that's wasn't done on purpose? F, G, A, B. Great to build some chords from. very quickly and great to mount your major scale with to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, even 8 notes. You can even put it up on D, 9, 10 notes under your. You can even put it up on E again, so C, D, E. Let's go here past the octave here. We can use this for the entire thing. But you could also put this on the. You could forget about this note and mount this note here and mount this square on the low E string, and you would have you starting with F. Then you could have G, A, B, C, D, and E, all pretty. A low E string is actually a really nice place to also experiment with this method, but you go with what you like. I'm going to use the D string for today's example. It's a little harder, so if you learn this, it'll make the E string easier. So if you needed A, and let's get complicated here. Let's say someone calls out A sharp, or you just happen to know when A sharp was playing, and that's what you needed for A sharp Lydian solo. Your background was going to be an A, or you created it in A, whatever the case may be. A sharp. So you found your A, go forward for sharp. No, they said A flat. So you found your A, go flat. G sharp. You found your G, go sharp. Same note, right? F sharp, right? E sharp. Oh, doesn't exist. That's an F. E flat. We're probably not going to put it there because then half the square is off into the open strings there. I would probably put that, if I wanted an E or a D, I would probably put the square here, right? Or so let's say in this example we wanted an A, we'd put the square. We'd play these 4 notes right here. We have the first 4 notes of our scale, and the other 2 are back here and back here. And a Lydian. What's above A? E. And that's the key of E. And what do you know? All the sharps and flats line up as per the key of E. And whole notes too. Anyways, so you put your box there, and you're starting to build an Aeolian scale. And so what I do, when I jam, when I need to do this really quick, I get my box mounted on that string, and I can start jamming right away on 4 notes. I know I've got these notes back here to jam, and then I know the rest of my pattern starts branching out from there. If I want to move up, I've got my other box here, and I've got it's going to have another series here and another series there. However, problem. D string, G string, B string. At the B string, we got to do what? You got to account for that pesky string shift. You know why that shift is cool, though? Once you get over it, you've left behind every other guitarist that still is tripping over that, right? So that's one good reason to just get a hang of this. So your box started here and shifted over here. This is where you got that crooked box. And the L would be here. And you only get the top of the box on the E string. So perhaps this would be E, B, G, D, A, E for your open guitar strings here. And let's see, what's our Lydian on here? D, E, F, G, G sharp, A flat in our example that we're drawing up here. So if I was here, look at how much of the fretboard I got opened up here, and then I might know that once I'm in this box, actually, I've played around with this so much, I know automatically right now this box, all these boxes connect to a pentatonic scale somewhere, a pentatonic scale that you already know. So this is what I call my Phrygian shape that my guitar teacher taught me. So I remembered what he taught me, so I know the rest of my box, the rest of my notes are here and here and here. And this box will be also down here, like so. The Lydian note down there. The Lydian note is also up here, and there, respectively. Connect it with this, and put that one there. And I'm going to color you out how the pentatonic shape fits in there. And yes, you can just play this pentatonic shape and sound Lydian, but you will be missing the Lydian note by doing this. So it will sound okay, but you won't be really exemplifying the Lydian sound by just playing a pentatonic here. There's other pentatonics also, because as you know, there's 3 pentatonics in every major scale. 3 of the same pentatonics. That's why you can sometimes play a different pentatonic and be confused over which one is right, because they're both found within the scale. So there's a pretty neat tidbit there. We've got our Lydian note here. We said we're in A flat, right? E, F, G, G sharp, A flat. D, E, F, G, G sharp, A flat. E, F, just like the top string, G, G sharp, A flat. Interesting, huh? So we can know through our octave pattern where our box shape is. Well, there's going to be one here. And we also knew some rules of thumb. When there's a half box at the bottom, there is a full box at the top. So we go here. And we can know from our Lydian is the first of 4 in the 3/4 pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4 whole steps, then a half step, and look at there, it appears in the box. So this is all totally legit. There's no lie here, no fudged music theory. This is exact music theory simplified to its visual core. Do you guys get it out there? If anyone realizes the magnitude of these lessons, you can thank me later. At least, I don't know, for me, it really helped me. You guys, and it's not going to help everybody. Some people are going to look at this method and go, what the hell is this? Maybe a couple years from now it makes sense to you. Maybe it never makes sense to you. Hey, no big deal, man. Everybody's wired to see the world a little bit differently. And that's what brings us all the great music of the world, right? So, I happen to know from there. Look, here's my Dorian shape right here. When I got a square at the bottom, and this is where the square on the bottom you could have used to mount your, you knew that your G was there, you went sharp for G sharp, and you mounted your box there. That means that all these notes here will be in, because that's a real easy pattern to know right there. Once you got the box down here, you're in. What you might have been taught from your guitar teacher was your Dorian scale. There we use 2 open strings right there. These open strings would not be used. This is the nut of the guitar. Nut. That's off the screen right there. And there you go. Some other notes of your scale. I had a little mistake there. I should have stopped here to take my G sharp, which is just after the G, and make it green, because that is a Lydian coolness note. Well, let's take a break and hear how this sounds so far, right? I'll get a G pedal tone going, and I'll start here in the box here and see what kind of solo I can make. What kind of sounds can you make? And let me tell you something right now about this. Let's say you didn't use a pedal tone and you just played this part right here on the guitar, just played the scale. And I'll tell you why playing a scale sounds good for about 25 seconds to anybody listening. Because it's congruent, makes sense. And that's the extent of it. Most people are like, okay, what else can you do? And when you play that, it sounds okay, but you know what your ear's doing? It hears all those tones together, but it doesn't have a tonal center. It's missing a way to plug that into what it could be. For example, your ear knew that could be, or it could have been this. All those solo notes were the same from the same C major scale. I just played in low E for Phrygian, and I played the G for Mixolydian. And that's what created the sound differentiation. And then your brain has some way to really attach to that. It considers that more musical than just the major scale, and especially when you can bring the change and work that into your music. You create it for yourself. Make something interesting that has two changing modes, either within the key, changing keys. You can do all kinds of things. And that's where the creativity of music comes in. That's where you suddenly realize, hey man, you are a musician. Wow, you've got creative power. You've got the power to express through your instrument. You'll be amazed at what you can do with this stuff. So here, you can go on and create your whole scale here. I don't know if you want to be so bored as to see me map this whole thing out, which I've mapped this thing a million times now in a million different videos. But just to show you, if you're working your way through it, you can, play here for a while and just kind of think to yourself, okay, where the hell's next? And then work, okay, this is next. And start slow, and you'll start to memorize this into your mind, and you'll be able to go for anywhere. Like when I'm playing, and I know this graph paper, let's say I just want to move in this direction here, I can. Let's say I want to move in this direction here, I can, because I know this box is here, and I know my split box is there, and I know which pentatonic scale I'm in. Let's draw out another pentatonic right here. There was a Dorian shape here. Here was what your guitar teacher called your Phrygian shape here. You can make out another kind of pentatonic box here. I don't know what shape that is. It's called the number 1, 2, 3 shape, whatever it is. There's another pentatonic box we can just shade in right here, right here, right here, right here. But once again, if you play this, you might lose out on your Lydian note, which is right here. L for Lydian. We'll green that one up give it the green for go. And here we've got our best, well, hold on a second here. Let me get this squared up for you here. Get our final pentatonic shape drawn out here. This one looks like the Aeolian box that your guitar teacher taught you, or perhaps you should have learned. Listen to your teacher. Okay, there's another pentatonic shape right there. And there's other pentatonic shapes in there. You experiment and find out where the hell they all are. We've got a box here, and if I'm not mistaken, that's G. Yep, that one gets filled in. Thought there was something missing there. All right. And my friends, here is, once you're in this box here and you're jamming around, let's do it. G sharp. So where should this L be? This L on this string should find the G sharp. That's here. So I'm right here. I just basically worked up this way because it was pretty easy for me to know my Aeolian shape. But now I want to go this way at an angle here. If I can get this piece of paper to stop killing my video here. If I want to go in an angle this way, I happen to know that my square and my square, this is my easiest block of squares right here. Square, square, don't be square. Now you're playing your entire fretboard as Mixolydian, because past this place everything repeats. You start with this half box up here, because our rule of thumb is that the whole box is on the bottom, half box is on the top, and you have this same pattern here, all ready to go again. So you now know your entire fretboard. Once again, we've repeated our Dorian shape by here. We're there, now we're here. And here we have this would be our D, sharp, G sharp. Our Lydian note is here. You can see these green boxes lighting up in the pattern of octaves here, because that's every L. The key of L. Let's give you just a final reference point here, even though we're repeating ourselves now. And this is already written here, so do I need to color it red? I guess I will. It twisted my arm. Yeah, I could do high-speed video here. That takes a lot of editing, and you know I'm lazy like that, so I'd rather just give you a video that hopefully you can hang on and watch. If these are too boring and I ramble on too many tangents, you can let me know. Consider learning modes, learning to play in modes like, you know, your guitar teacher gets lost in all the little technicalities. I just watched a video the other day where some guys sat down, and they make pretty cool guitar videos. They seem like a cool bunch of guys. We're gonna make a 2 guitar players. We're gonna show you how to play modes. They were gonna right off the bat they showed they just got lost in the mix. Guitar teachers do this all the time. It's you know, technically right to tell you that, hey, Lydian has a sharp 4th, and you know, it's that there's one note that makes it different, so this, but that doesn't help you make any music. You know, it doesn't help anything either, having a low drone note get forgotten while I'm trying to make my video here. Yeah. Okay. All I did was just start noodling around my major scale, and I went here, and then I went a little bit over here, and then I was up in here, and I could have gone up here, but I didn't. And there you go. I expressed myself in a, what did I just play? I was playing mixed Lydian. Or what no, I was playing Lydian. This was Lydian. Our lesson was Lydian. Oh, yeah. Yeah, we make mistakes. Hopefully you can bear with them. And leave your comments below about how many times I say and how much it annoys you. Yeah, I know. I don't script my videos. I just start talking. But at this third take here, at least, I didn't tell you some of the rambling things I was telling you in other videos. And I'll leave you with this analogy, you know. It's like a little kid seeing a slide for the first time. You could tell this person, you know, I don't even know if I told you this story already in the beginning, so I'm going to stop rambling here and just stop ruining my video. Anyways, was there anything I wanted to show you? Yeah, here's like, you know, a whole pattern. You can start when you make the box, just a single pattern, and this is the Phrygian pattern. Your guitar teacher tells you this. It will not tell you how to make music out of modes. If your root, the lowest note, so whatever the lowest note is, you place one of these green L's on, and that's where you'll be playing the Lydian. Now go to another video I have where I mapped out every interval in these boxes, so you'll know if you're in Ionian where to put this is the I box, so you put your Ionian. If you're in regular major, you put the note root here, and if you're in Phrygian, the root is here, and if you're in mixed Lydian here, and Aeolian here, and the final outside the box note, the farthest note outside the box, in case you were curious, The only note that doesn't touch the box, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 connect to the box. The one note is the 2, the D, or not D, but it's the 2 note. The second note of the scale is always outside the box. So if you've got the second note playing as a drone, which would be number 2, as you should know, check your notes, is D for Dorian. Well, I'm sorry, Dorian. It's not the D note. It doesn't have. It can be any key, any note. It's Dorian, and D for Dorian, and that's where that is. That's where you would place your scale. If you wanted, let's say you wanted a G sharp Dorian scale, you would place that note on G sharp. So if you want G sharp Lydian, you place that note on G sharp. You place one of these notes on one of these things on the note, you'll get the scale. So if you want to write this down, I for Ionian. This is your Locrian, which you hardly ever use, so I put a little LX there because this L can confuse you and look like that L. But this is L for Lydian, this is LX for the Locrian that you hardly ever use. P for Phrygian. A for Aeolian always connects to the bottom of the box. It will usually connect here, but here we're at the string shift, so it connects here. Like, for example, here's the box here, and it connects on this side of the box. That's the proper way it falls underneath the box without the string shift. At the top of the box, on this side, we're off the fretboard. Let's find a box here with the top. Mixolydian. So we have Dorian and Dorian. Like I said, it's farthest from the box. It's the only one that doesn't touch the box, but it repeats on both sides of the box. So it's got its own handy little bit there. And there's your Mixolydian there. And handy dandy, Mixolydian is also, no, that's Aeolian, and this is Mixolydian. So Mixolydian are also in the outside form, but they also connect to the box here and here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Your 7 note is it's not the 7th of the scale, but it's your outsider is your 2, the D. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6. What? Sorry. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or going up the scale, 6 and 7, Aeolian, Locrian, and if that's true, we should be in the box, because Locrian's always in the box. Look at, just like always, Ionian, Phrygian. So, any confusion, let me know. You want to play, unlock your modes all over the fretboard? Now you know how. I'll leave you with some jams. Have a great day. Yeah, Eric Johnson, if you're listening, I just ripped that off from you. So, yeah, It's the I just basically used all the tones in one of his songs. I think it was something I really like a lot. That just it just you hear this song and it's just got these guitar parts that just kind of break away from the main part. Just kind of breaks away. Just got this really cool open up sound. Well, Eric Johnson was using modes, and I can't go over whatever scale he was in. That's a whole nother lesson. But that was what you were hearing and what you heard right there. It wasn't this Lydian mode here. It was just whatever I was playing. And I hope you enjoyed the sound and get an idea about what the hell's going on here with modes. And I thank you if you made it this far. Thank you for watching, and please, please, please subscribe. Have a great day.